What's up, guys? This is day 156. Today I came a bit late to practice. I had this Zoom call until 2 p.m. For arm wrestling actually, and I ran over right after. I actually got a spot at a coffee shop nearby, so I wouldn't be too late to practice. Um, it's interesting about practice. It's should you show up to practice fresh? Should you show up to practice late? It sort of depends. I think the most cool thing to do would be to show up to practice right on time. Work out regardless throughout the week. Maybe show up sore, pull, throughout all practice. That's something Lex would do. But I think there's actually a very good argument that that's not good for your progress. And I don't really purposely try to avoid people or be a practice bully, but there's a lot of merit actually to being fresh in practice, to making sure that you don't do anything stupid. But anyways, I came a bit late. This is the only table that was open. I probably wouldn't have pulled this guy if it wasn't, but we ended up warming up, and then he was like, do you want to pull? So I pulled this one a little bit. He was just holding me, and I was working on some of my low hand setup and stuff like that, and then at one point I wanted to see if he could crack my wrist, and yeah, I mean, if anyone could crack my wrist, it would be this guy for sure. He's incredibly strong, huge hands, long lever. I feel like I sort of slowed him down for one surge, but yeah, after he got me, I was because usually my wrist doesn't really get taxed that much in practice, I'll be honest. Just in terms of my wrist stability. But yeah, I was I need to take a break, and I stopped pulling him. And I pulled with Anthony a bit. This is a bit crazy because Anthony would try to adjust in the strap a lot, and I feel a lot of times he would just end up in a worse setup almost after he's trying to adjust. And I was kind of actually, so after the coaching that I got, what I'm really trying to work on is being sort of unhookable, making sure that you can always stay out of an inside move. And I know that Anthony is a very high level hooker, so I was kind of expecting him to sort of shoot a hook with me, but actually he said his elbow was a bit injured, so he was mostly actually kind of coming outside. But yeah, I pulled with Anthony, and I mean, I said, I think he was about to leave, and it had been maybe a couple hours into practice, and it was his first practice since provincials, so I imagine that he got pumped pretty quick. So just saying that obviously practice is not indicative of a real competition or sort of where we stack up next to each other. But yeah, I was trying to implement a lot of the setup stuff, basically all the advice that I got from the Zoom call, the coaching, and really it's very simple actually, and it's something that if I told you, you'd be yeah, no shit. But I think what matters is that this day and age there's almost too much information, right? And you would have probably heard of just about every piece of advice that you could possibly find, but the difference is that you're not sure which piece of advice is actually valuable or is actually trustworthy. And when you hear it from a source that you consider to be an authority, for example, if Menderes tells me to do something when it comes to low hand technique, that is correct, right? So I'm doing it, and I'm focusing my attention on it, and I'm practicing it. And I think that's really the difference, is that pretty much anyone can be yeah, this is probably better, but you're always going to have that bit of ego where you're maybe this is actually not the best, or I'm not sure. And just the fact that you can't wholeheartedly commit to an idea or an adjustment actually would really hinder your progress. Because I mean, at the same time, if you did, maybe it's wrong, and maybe you won't actually end up progressing. So that's, I think, what like part of what the value of like coaching is. But basically, like I'm just like I said, I'm working on making sure that I can like stay out of the hook always when people are shooting in. And a lot of these pulls, I'm like with Alex, I'm actually asking him like, because he was dragging back and doing like a sort of like a different style, like it wasn't like a hook. And I'm like, well, I actually want to work on this. Like, can you do this a bit? So I'm just really working with the people that I'm pulling with. It's not really like a competition pull or anything. So that's some context to it. I pulled Issa a bit before he left. I think he was pretty gassed. But yeah, I mean, I felt great honestly today. Like I said, it's such small adjustments, but like the change it makes with the right level of like attention and focus given to even like those very small tips and adjustments is pretty insane. And I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like if people can't really hook me or turn me in, it's gonna be really, really, really difficult to beat me. If if you're facing me and you can't hook me, like it's to be honest, like I find it like very difficult to see how you would beat me. So I mean, like I really feel like I'm on the right track. It's one of those things that like it might be difficult to sort of get good at it, but once you are, it like has huge returns. And I think that's part of the reason why not everyone pulls very, very technical is because they find a strong spot that they're very strong in, that they can beat people in, and they actually sort of get stuck in that because whatever else they're doing, for example, like rolling out, like pronating through someone's cup, I feel is extremely difficult unless you have like a very like significant level of experience. I feel like pronation strength is just not something you have when you start. So it's like, oh well, maybe I'll just keep pulling people on a hook, except like you'll never really progress that way. But even if you suck at catching people outside, at pronating out, which was me, like just losing to beginners when they come in, because as soon as I top roll, I would just extend, like my whole arm would open up. But if you just keep doing that over and over, months after month after month, year after year, eventually you're gonna start being able to crack people's wrist on defensively, and then eventually you're gonna be able to, like top roll people from center, and like it's just. But once you are able to sort of crack that threshold, like the gains you will make in terms of like your efficacy on the table is just insane. It's like kind of like high, like it's like very high effort long term, but it's very high return as well, because it's like as soon as you crack that threshold, like the amount of people that you're able to hang with, the amount of people that you can beat just kind of like explodes. Whereas if you're just like staying in where you feel you're strong, like cupping in, going to the side, stuff like that, inside technique, for sure like you'll feel great in practice, but you'll always be kind of stuck where you are in terms of like beating people, because you're not going to be able to like disengage anyone, and like your strength relative to everyone else is going to be relatively static in terms of like the ladder. So I think for sure, like, not to say that one technique is better than the other, but when Devin even talks about like, if you're hooking people, it's stupid, you always want to like not hold on, you always want to do, like, there's actually a lot of truth to that. And I do think that like essentially everyone should sort of realize and figure out a way to pull that disengages the other person and not just makes them feel stronger. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I think towards the end here, I was pretty gassed, but overall it was a great practice, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
I can't stand for gold now.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
Exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. And I feel like also that a little bit of wrist extension.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of more weight to work that. Yes.
I have a football on my left. So it's fresh.
The Savivi, I have a Savivi shaft knife, not shaft knife, like a folding shaft.
Oh.
Look at this. It's not really stupid, but it's like a liner lock. Anyway, still something. I don't know what pattern should I like cut me off. Oh look, because this night I wanna like do a really quick. So I'm not gonna fuck around, do some weird pattern. Maybe do some. Let's see.
I didn't know maybe like some trance. Maybe something more Avengers meaning for you.
Yeah.
Because
I
know
felt quite
about it.
comfortable.
What he's doing
mean,
is
it's,
fucking fantastic.
And I didn't feel like
His
I
drawing
was.
is good. I mean, her daughter's drawing skills.
I mean, if you were going to snap something, that would be the angle, but I don't think that means it's dangerous. If you feel good, it's good. It's just like knowing, like,
5 minutes.
the way I think about it is like, I almost, when I'm doing that, I shift the load, like, I shift the failing point to here.
Right.
So when I lose, it's never going to be through my elbow.
Right.
So I'm not like, if I'm say like you're pushing to the side and I start doing this, I could maybe push even a bit harder, but I'm almost just doing a static hold.
Right.
So that like if I do lose, this gets overwhelmed before this, right? So that way you can never break it off. So if you were to lose like this, that would be fine. But like
But like losing like.
if you were really, because I mean, you know, like a while ago there was arm break at the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, not before you joined.
No, there was one.
They made a video about it.
Yeah.
No, before you joined.
Oh, before.
They made a video about it.
Oh, yes. It was at somebody's place. Jason's
It was
place.
at Jason's place. And what happened there is that guy, I think what he was doing is like, he was really like, it was like this. And I think what he was doing is he was really like tricep, like hold me a little bit. I think he was really like doing this instead of like hold. I think that's why it can break. Otherwise, I think it's fine.
I won't give you any.
It's because I didn't pull at all my left because I'm like it's injured. Oh, I don't want to pull, and then it's like
You just save it.
I mean I'm not supposed to pull at all, but like at the end when someone asks for me, I'm like you're probably tired enough that like it'll be okay.
It will be gentle and.
So that's fine.
But yeah, your left feels so fresh.
Know him.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
By the way, are you close to Lex level?
Close to what?
Lex.
What do you mean close to?
Like Lex level, like you either in the match?
No. I mean, have you
Say
seen
it on
his,
camera. Say it on camera.
have you seen his arms, man?
So wide, like knee tapers already.
I'm like,
No, it's because
I mean, I've never been like into like. I got different, but I've never had like. I was always curious. everything.
Because you do a lot of shit. So I'll tell you something.
And then he'll do Monday or
I regrabbed and you got.
I never get my hand dominated like that. So even in the match, I didn't feel like I was really enjoying myself. It was like a half hour later that I started to feel all the pain. And it was because like I was already opened up and I was just trying to get it back. It was just, I was just thinking like if like that setup is like fucking. I mean, it should. I'm gonna talk to Ian. Like Ian should. It's supposed to be karate chop. You shouldn't be allowed it. And the rule is supposed to be the center of the table. You're not allowed to have your elbow past the center. And he kept putting his elbow past, and they weren't correcting. Because I'm thinking if he was in last,